Look at that. Look at that. Look at, do you see it? That is a homemade pie crust. That's what we're doing today, guys. We're doing pie crust and pies. We're talking rubber bands on here. Rubber bands. Wish I had a pie coming. I should have did where I had a pie coming out of the oven at the same time, but maybe we'll do that next year. A grater. Let me get a grater. Grater or grater? I don't know. I feel like I'm in the Louisiana Bayou or something. Practice. Practice, practice. I use vodka in my crust. Hey guys, good evening. Rico here. Rico's Place. How y'all doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm, what is this? I think this is, day 8 of the 12 days. Day 8. And we are getting ready to make a pecan pie. But before we make the pecan pie, we need to make a crust. And a lot of people get scared of a crust. They just think it's hard, and it's not hard. There's not very many ingredients. It's just you throw it together. There's a couple little rules or tricks you need to follow. But my mom used the old Pillsbury crust all the time that she gets at the store, and that's fine. If that's what works for you, do it. Okay, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that you try to make a pie, and pies are easy. So we're gonna get our dry ingredients in here. We're gonna bake this crust. We're gonna get it all that mixed up. Then we're gonna put it in the fridge, and I'll go to bed. When I wake up, then I'll roll out 2 crusts. I will put them on some parchment paper and fold them. I think I remember how to do that. And then I'll have those ready. Well, 2 things. I can roll them out, put them on parchment paper and have them ready, or I can wait till, keep them in the ball of dough that's going in the refrigerator, and I can roll them out the day that I'm going to actually make the pie. I haven't decided yet. We'll figure that one out in 20 minutes when we get to that stage. All right, first off, dry ingredients. Like, if you make cookies or any of that kind of stuff, they always have you put the dry ingredients in first, and you whisk them or sift them all around. And I usually will have everything pre-measured, and that way I just grab a container and everything's there and it's all made up. But we'll do that as part of this tutorial for you. The liquids, you want to keep the butter and the liquids cold out in the freezer if possible, because you don't want them melting as much. You want them to go into the flour cold and hard, and then when you put it in the fridge, they remain hard. They don't melt, and that's what's going to make your crust flaky. Flaky. I'm flaky. I have one of those ones that's like the little tower, and you go like this, and it grades out onto a plate or right in the bowl. I don't know where mine is. I got to get another one of those. I like those better. And then if you're going to use one of these flat ones, I like the all metal ones, because this plastic keeps you from doing full strokes. But this will work for what we're going to do today. So we got our dry ingredients here. We got the butter, the vodka, which goes into this. I didn't put the apple cider vinegar or the liqueur into the freezer. I should have. They should be cold too, but they're not going to make that big of a difference. Oh, mother may I. No, I don't have. Oh, I guess I could use that. So we're going to start with an all-purpose flour. We're going to go 2.5 cups. Now, you probably can just rough it, eyeball it, but I'm gonna try to be as precise as I can be. Is this a heifer? Where's my thought I had them out. We're going to go a tablespoon of sugar. And I might go just a little bit, just for the hell of it. Then we're going to do a teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to whisk those dry ingredients up. Now, some recipes, depending on what you're making, might have you put a little cinnamon in it, maybe. I don't know. If the recipe calls it, I don't do that. I just want an old-fashioned, white, flaky, buttery. Okay, now, the next step, we're going to throw in some butter. It's coming out of the freezer, so it's nice and cold and hard. And a lot of recipes, almost all of them, will tell you to cube the butter. In the little tiny cube, you put that in there, and then you're going to get one of those. I have this little flat metal one. That's going to be better than this. I like this a lot better. So let's get rid of it. I should throw that away. Now, when you put this butter in the flour, you got a couple of ways to do it. Some will say get a fork. Some will say one of these pastry deals. My recipe says you grate it in there and then just kind of use your hands. Okay, it doesn't matter as long as you get it incorporated. Fork works better than this, I think. But make a couple crusts, figure it out. Now you know what I like about this whole process is flour in the scheme of things is cheap. Cup of butter relatively is cheap. So you could make a crust. Don't make it and have to use it right then. Oh, I got to have it by, right now. Make it, and if it doesn't turn out, make it again. It might take you 3 or 4 times. Practice. Now we need a cup, so it's going to be two sticks, 2 cubes, cube of butter, stick of butter, whatever. I should put the other one back in the freezer while I grate this one. And here, another trick. I would measure your flour out, and I'd throw it in the refrigerator, the freezer, and get your flour cold too. That way it's not melting the butter when it goes in. Then all you're going to do is we're just going to grate this butter. And again, you could do this before and have it in the freezer just so, or whatever, so that what I didn't bring out is the vodka. I use vodka in my crust instead of water. I don't know what it does, but it does something. When you're making a crust, a recipe for crust, make sure it makes 2 crusts. Otherwise, you might screw yourself if you're making a pie that needs a top. You're not squishing it. That's why you want the pastry spatula or whatever, this thing, because what you're doing is you're just kind of crumbling it together. And what you got is this real flaky material, okay? So that's actually pretty good. We're going to put in a teaspoon of the Grand Marnier liqueur. Oh hell, let's put 2 of those in. Okay. We're going to put in two tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. Don't ask me what it does. I'll look it up, but because somebody just told me to do it and it works. Do not just dump the whole half in there because it may be too much. Okay? You could take your fork to get it started if you want. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. The trick is not to go a long time and let this butter start melting. Sometimes you have to put a little extra. That's okay too. Or you gotta squish it together with your hands. And I'm just kind of twisting it up in my hands. You may put a little more in, but don't add a lot of extra, because when you do that, pretty soon you're a little goes a long way. Now you can guesstimate. You want to break this dough up into 2 balls. That's 360 grams. 315. 332. 338. 339. I don't know how Rico did that, but he did good. Then we want to take a piece of cellophane. And we're just going to wrap this up pretty tight. You're going to set these in the fridge for a couple hours, but since it's later, I'm out of OJ. Ooh, that's good. Since I'm out of time, because it's evening, I'm just going to let them stay in there overnight, and then in the morning I'll get up and roll them out. Okay, that's the first part of it. I'll see you guys in the morning. Maybe in the morning, and we'll roll this puppy out. Alrighty.